The following story is a parable of Lao Tse that will reveal to you how to achieve any goal you have. A young man has been thinking about going to the mountains for years to see the statue of Lao Tse. The young man loves the way Lao Tse has spoken, his words, and the lifestyle he has led, but has never seen a statue of him. There are no taoist temples, and very few statues that are all in the open-air mountains carved into them. Years go by, and always many things get in the way. But one night, he finally decides to go. Also, the place is not far away, it's only 160 kilometers, 100 miles away, but since he is poor, he will have to go walking. He chooses to go in the middle of the night when his wife and children are asleep. He took a lamp and went away from his village. When he gets to the first stop, a thought arises. For God, 160 kilometers and I only have 2 feet. This is going to kill me. I am asking for the impossible. I have never walked 100 miles, and there is no road. The way is narrow, only for mountain walkers, and also dangerous, so he thinks. It is worth waiting for dawn, at least there will be light and I will see better. Otherwise, I will collapse at this narrow path and disappear without seeing the statue of Lao Tse. It will be simply the end. He was sitting outside of town when an old man approached him at sunrise. He saw the young man sitting down and asked him, "What are you doing here?" The young man explained to him. The old man smiled and said, "Haven't you heard the old saying, no one is able to take 2 steps at the same time? You can only take 1 step at a time. The powerful, the weak, the young, the old, it doesn't matter." And the saying continues, "Only step by step a man can travel 1,000 miles, and this road is only 100. Besides, don't be stupid. Who is telling you to continue without stopping? You can take your time. This is one of the most beautiful valleys, and this is one of the most beautiful mountains, and trees are full of fruits that maybe you haven't even tried. Anyway, I'm going there. You can come with me. I have done this way 1,000 times. I have at least 4 times your age. Get up." The old man was very authoritarian. When he said get up, the boy just stood up. And he also told him, "Give me your things. You are young and inexperienced. I'll carry your things. You just follow me and we will rest as much as you want." And what the old man said was true. As soon as they went deeper into the forest and the mountains, everything became more and more beautiful, and the fruits were wild, juicy. Also, each time the young man wanted to stop, the old man agreed. He was surprised that the elder never said it was time to rest, but every time the young man said he wanted to rest, the old man agreed to rest for a day or 2, then continued the route. In this way, they traveled without problems the 160 kilometers, and they reached the end of the path. Then, they had access to one of the most beautiful statues of one of the greatest men that has walked on earth. Even his statue had something. It wasn't just a piece of art. It had been created by Taoist artists to represent the spirit of Tao. The Tao believes in the philosophy of letting yourself go, and believing that you don't have to swim, but float in the river. You simply have to let it take you where it goes, because each river finally reaches the ocean. So don't worry, you will get to the ocean. There is no need to be tense. In that lonely place stood a statue, and right next to it there was a waterfall, because the Tao is called the path of the water flowing. Just as the water continues to flow without manuals, without maps, without rules, but in a way so strange, very humble, because it's always looking for the lowest position everywhere. It never goes uphill, it always goes downhill, but reaches the ocean, its own origin. The whole atmosphere of the place was representative of the Taoist idea of letting go. The parable continues. The old man, looking at the statue of Lao Tse, said, Now the journey begins. The young man, very surprised, said, "But the route is over." The old man answered, "Not really. From this point, from this atmosphere, begins a route of 1,000 kilometers." The message indicates to continue. The journey itself is the goal. If you know your way, you know the goal, because the goal is not at the end of the road. The goal is all along the road. It's infinite. It's eternal. And I'm not going to lie, because after 1,000 kilometers, you will meet another old man, possibly me, and I'll say, this is just a continuous stop.